One
Mic
thing
check.
too, every time I come here, I always sit and I'm like, where do they find all these swan paintings?
We actually commissioned a lady that we know that's our
Okay.
local artist, and she designed all of them for us. I kind
No.
of gave her a, hey, I want this. Like the two swans together was one that I wanted, but I have them all in my office too.
So do
She's
Ah.
you
done a beautiful black swan. She's got all kinds of them.
do you sell those?
Do I still
somebody
have
wants?
those? No.
Well, no, they paid for her to make them for them.
No,
Might
but you
check.
give it up. But you.
She could
Yeah,
though.
you
Yes,
Yeah.
we could. And the artist is local.
Yeah.
So she does stuff everywhere.
Constantly.
Yeah.
What's the artist's name?
Melanie Smith.
Okay.
She's talented.
Listen,
Yeah.
because
Oh wow, that is nice.
no, when I come here, that one right there in particular, the one on the end,
With the wings.
I always said if I ever got me a custom made pendant, I want that.
That would
Yes.
be hard. Yeah. We good, Devontae? All right. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check.
We're live.
We are live.
We are in here.
We are at a mic check. Mic check.
We're not
Mic
gonna
check.
say an undisclosed
Okay.
location.
Yeah, I was gonna say undisclosed, guys.
We're here at Frescos.
Yeah, we're at the most hottest place in downtown Lakeland. Ooh, look at that.
She
Say
said too.
less.
He
He
said
brought it. Okay.
Mr.
nope.
Tim, I don't know if they can fit my head though, man.
No, hey, hey. They're gonna fit mine, boy. Let me tell you.
Ooh, oh my!
Yes,
I'm gonna put
sir.
this on right now. I love it.
Yes, sir.
You know what? I gotta go to the last two.
I'm about to say. Look, see, there he is. There he is.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that just fits right.
Thank you. For real.
Thank you, Miss Tina.
Wow.
All
You
right,
gotta make sure you're styling. What, you ain't gonna
Yeah.
put that on while you
Yeah, come on,
Hold
man.
on.
look at this.
Everybody blur the camera. Hold on. I gotta make this fast.
make it quick, make it quick.
Oh, wait.
I didn't get a haircut.
I got bedhead.
It's
Bro,
been
you got
hard.
you got two bald headed guys, and you here worried. I would rather have hair, bedhead, than no hair.
We got that. Hey, we're gonna cut that part right there and do it in slow motion.
Focus.
Just focus in on the.
No, we good.
All
Though.
right, we good. We good. Listen,
go.
man. This is we are live here at Frescos downtown Lakeland.
Yes,
The
sir.
name speaks for itself. It's one of them places that everybody knows about. The food is great. The service is second to none.
And
the bottomless mimosas.
If you don't know, you
Nah,
gonna find out.
Yeah, we are on the corner of what, Kentucky and Tennessee?
Nope, lemon in Kentucky.
Lemon in
Lemon in
Kentucky.
Kentucky.
Yes. Listen, Google it. If you don't know where Fresco's is at by now, then are you really a true Lakelandite?
Are you really a true poke counter?
Yeah, because people
Bro,
come
like-
from all over to come here.
That's real.
So listen, let's get right to it. Can't leave pod alone. The game needs me. And by me, I mean us. And by us, I do go by the name of Olu.
I go by the name of Saint So Wavy.
Listen, I'm gonna be a little different. Y'all can find me. It's TTNO_Swan.
Yeah.
That's what I go by.
The swan on the front.
You
says
better
it all.
believe it.
Yeah, shout out to Devontae in the Cub, making sure everything looks and sounds great. Shout out to Luigi over there, in the cut. Shout out to Paco.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are here, man. Listen, I'm very excited about this one. You guys know I've been, talking about this
Yeah.
and kind of, when I get to doing things like this, Miss Tina, I get a little crazy. My thoughts start going crazy, all kind of excitement and nervousness and everything like that. But we're here. We finally made it, fellas.
Oh yeah, we're here.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. We have one co-owner, co-CEO.
Actually, no, I'm the only owner.
Oh,
Hey, come on.
Say it, say it.
okay.
Say it with your chest.
Sole proprietor.
So, okay.
There we go.
Female owned.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Throw that in there.
Talk that talk. So, we are talking to the boss, the CEO of what, like I said, one of the hottest places in Lakeland, in Polk County, Frescos, Miss Tina Calhoun. Welcome. I wanted to give a whole, list of things, but I tend to miss things, when I do that. So I want to give you the opportunity to tell the people
Your accolades.
your accolade, your name, your title, everything like that.
Jack of
just
all
come closer.
trades. Jack of all trades. The joy of being a sole proprietor is you have to learn how to do everything. We opened up 15 years ago. Originally, it was based solely on catering, and we were going to be a small little kitchen doing breakfast and lunch. And over the years, we just kept growing and kept growing. So we are who we are today. I'm one of those lucky individuals that have never really gone to culinary school, but was able
Wait,
to.
now you're going too far in because I got questions.
Roll with that.
She's just giving. She's
Yeah.
touching the base.
Because that's very interesting. Because we did have a talk in your office before everything, and you did mention that. I do want to do a quick side note. And I told you this already, but I would like to share it with the people who don't know. You said you started 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And for those who know, I've been married 14, 15 years, around that range. Sorry,
You forgot. You forgot.
So when we were doing the preparations for the wedding, one of the hardest things was finding a caterer. It wasn't hard as to find one, but it was hard to find that one, the one that could fulfill especially the wife, because the bridezilla was really strong that time. Everything was kind of crazy, and so we came across you.
Yeah.
And that's when it was at the humble beginnings of Frescos. And, we sat down with you. I will admit I was really irritated by the time I spoke to you. But you...
He's very honest, right? He's honest.
But, when I sat down with you, Miss Tina, the vibe that I got from you, the aura I got from you right away, I told my wife, I think this is it. You made us feel comfortable. You made us... feel like we don't have anything to stress about. And then you catered our wedding, and it's still to this day one of the first things that come up when we do talk about the wedding is everyone talks about how great the food was.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
I'm glad. We strive.
It's something that there's three things that were taken away from the wedding was the sangria that we made, and the festivities afterwards at the reception. Is that what they call it?
Uh-huh, the
Yeah,
reception.
and the food. The food, like I said, is still. We had chicken marsala, if you don't remember.
Yep, you've talked about it a couple times recently.
He talks
need
about
some
this
more.
every
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
I'd have to go into the archives to find the work order. So I'm glad you remember what you had. That's awesome.
Definitely. Yeah, and my wife wants to say thank you for that also.
Always.
So you didn't go to culinary school.
Did not go to culinary school. Self-taught. Was in the kitchen growing up with my mom.
Best way to learn.
So
Shout out to mom.
On the job training.
Yeah.
From there, I've just been very blessed. I opened my first restaurant at 21. I had a 3-month-old, my first daughter on my hip. As we talked earlier about the struggles of a single mom, or at least a parent in general, she went to work with me all the time. So both of my kids grew up in the restaurant industry, and now my grandkids are growing up in the restaurant industry.
Oh, wow.
They are learning that you have to work to get what you want, and that's kind of the most important thing. I feel like they all enjoy it. I'm grandma, so now it's to take them to school, pick them up from school, entertain them, do homework, the whole 9 yards here at the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
So the beginning, where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Ocala, born in Jacksonville, raised in Ocala, so I'm a
okay.
Floridian.
Yeah. Yep. Through and through.
Yeah,
Yep.
through and through. But there were times, so when you first, from our conversation, when you first opened your first restaurant, it wasn't in Florida, was it?
No, it was in Arkansas. I was very blessed.
Shout out to Razorbacks.
Up there in nice Little Rock, Arkansas. I had 2 restaurants up there. It was during the Clinton era, which is always funny because we talk about social media today.
Oh, yeah.
Back then it was semis with banners on it.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yep.
So times they've changed.
Yeah.
So I opened up one there. It was in a hotel. I was very lucky. I kind of fell into a sweet spot. And it gave me the opportunity to have a restaurant, a bar, and catering facility. So we took over the whole food and beverage in the hotel. So from there, we've just kind of eventually grew and grew. This one here really just came out of, we did our own wedding 20 years ago.
Oh, that's
and
what's
I was
up.
like, oh, I kind of got that bug again.
Well, we're gonna get into that. That's a great story because like I said, you did tell me a little bit about that. I want to kind of keep it towards like the beginning. So like when you went into that venture, like where did that come from? Like, 'cause what were you doing before that? Like,
I've always been in the restaurant industry. I started off at 16 in the restaurant industry, so it is an industry that I'm comfortable with. It's an industry I know inside and out. And it's something that I'm comfortable with. So they always say, do what you're comfortable with, do what's passionate to you.
It's not broke, don't fix it.
so the
And
confidence
when you do
was
fix
there. The confidence was there going into it, or were you? Of course, there were doubts and stuff like that.
I would say, yeah, the confidence was there, but I think for me, it was more about the desire to succeed, not to
I
fail.
like that.
I didn't want to have that, I screwed up and I failed. So I think that's through all of the restaurants, because this was my third one. I think through all of them, it's always just been about making sure I did not fail and I had the ability to succeed. So
So you kind of said it to where like success was your only option. You didn't have any
Right.
backup plan. This is it. It has to work.
and it was only our money, so there
Yeah.
wasn't like somebody was financing us. So if we screwed up, we
Yeah,
were
you're
we were
gone.
bankrupting
Yeah.
ourselves. So it was like, no, you can't have that.
Shout out to the live that's tuned in right now. Shout out to T Baby, always tuned in to us.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
So
Glad that you're up early.
I love to hear I watch a lot of Food Network, and
Yes.
I dabble in stuff, and I'm interested in the whole culinary arts. So the typical route to opening your own restaurant is you hear I went to culinary school, and then I
Got a
work
food
for
truck
someone
or
else,
something.
and then I
I
decided
was
to
a
do
sous
my own
chef.
thing.
I was
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I was,
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of, it's kind of an industry where you have to work your way up. For example, like my personal deal with that is, I'm a truck driver. I went to trade school to be a truck driver, but before that, I was going to go to culinary school. But I said, man, I need money now. You know what I mean? And I said, I don't have the time to build myself up. So
Right.
that's typically the story in the culinary world,
Yeah, you
right?
say, I can't start off with the eggs and
Yeah,
then get to
yeah.
the fries and then in about 2 years, then you're a manager. Now we're in the money.
Yeah.
I don't know. Coming to America says fries where the money's at.
Yeah, correction. Yeah, that's it.
That was a good one.
Now we're in the big bucks.
Now we're in the big bucks.
So what, like, for a person who didn't go to culinary school, that's like, how, and I'm sure that makes things more difficult, no? Or
I don't know if it makes things difficult. I think if you have a desire to learn and you have that drive to get you where you're at, you can succeed in anything. For me, culinary is just a love of food and a love of the passion behind the food, because you can't be afraid to do what you want to do, and
That's
you can't be
right.
afraid of a mistake.
right.
I think people get bogged down with the fear of the mistake. The mistake is just learning, and it's part of learning.
Right.
So we have to make those mistakes to get to that next step. So for me, culinary is the easiest way. I mean, you flumber on something and it doesn't work, then you just figure out what needs to be done to make it fix and work the next time.
Yeah, definitely. When you go into something, you got to go full speed. You got to have big cojones.
Yeah.
You gotta do it.
Got that.
You gotta have them. So Frescos, how did the business start, and where did you come up with the name Frescos?
All right, the business started out of one of the traditional things that always happens in big corporations. My husband was, I say that because he retired right at COVID. He said it was my birthday gift. He gave it to me for my birthday.
Okay.
His company was doing across the board layoff, so he was in the pharmaceutical company, and being here in Lakeland, it's one of those routes that can easily get emerged into the Orlando or the Tampa market. So we were like fearful that, oh my God, what's going to happen? So he sat around all day waiting for the phone call to find out whether he had a job or not. You know, that one thing that everybody fears.
Tina said, "I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting for him."
I still had to work. And then he got saved, so we were like, okay. But then it was like, wow, that was a real reality check. It was like, oh my God, what
a
do you
gut check.
do if it happens 5 years down the road? And I says, well, the only thing I know is restaurants. I know restaurants, I know catering. And I know in 5 years I can build it to the level I need to be to recover whatever income you're at right now. So it became that strive to go, okay, the ultimate goal was if something was to happen, How do we replace his income? And how do we replace mine? So, I mean, it was a struggle those first 4 or 5 years because we literally opened the restaurant on a credit card and money pulled out of a 401k. So
You're solid.
it
Yes.
wasn't like, oh my God, we've got a cush. It's not a big deal. We're still paying the bills. It was day to day.
You're solid because I'm not gonna say all women, but there's a lot of women that would have looked at their husband in the eye and said, "You better figure it out."
Bro, I'm gonna be real with you. I think that is more so our generation because listening to you talk, that's the same way that my parents started their business, bro. They didn't do anything off with loans and all of that. No,
Get it off the muscle.
they went out of pocket for everything.
It's the best. I think when you start things like that, you learn to appreciate and value it a lot more.
Yeah.
It's more the heart. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's almost like, okay, well, the bank gave me this loan and I was able to buy all this and do everything I needed to do and blah, blah, blah.
And if it doesn't work
And if
out,
it doesn't
we'll
work,
just file bankruptcy.
Yeah, we'll just file bankruptcy. It's the LLC. It's gone.
Yeah.
We're not losing anything. No, bro. When this is something that you pour, you're not just pouring your monetary.
You putting your sweat equity
Putting
into
your
it.
sweat equity in it. You know what I mean? And so it's much more especially when you see the success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you guys established yourself in a city. For people who don't know how Lakeland is and how we operate, we show love, we
Most
support,
definitely.
and so but it's one of those things in Lakeland that either they're going to support you,
Or they're not. And then this is people like Frescos it fit in a niche.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in regards to like the time that you're open,
Yep.
the type of things that you sell
Yeah.
for your
Yep.
food items or whatnot.
Yeah.
It fit in a niche, so it was like let's see. But it didn't. The beauty in it all was it came at a time where this type of thing was actually starting to bubble.
Right.
So you actually were ahead of the game.
We were very ahead of the game, and I always joke when I talk to people, I'm like, yeah, granted I'm a lot older than most of the younger restaurant owners these days. I says, yeah, I'm the grandma of independent restaurants here in Lakeland. So, we did start it off, and we gave everybody that ability to understand that, hey, Lakeland will support it. You talked about supporting or not supporting. I think sometimes that is kind of a misnomer because everybody posts on social media, oh, they closed up, this Lakeland wouldn't support them, Lakeland wouldn't do this, Lakeland wouldn't do that. I don't think it's as much about Lakeland not supporting because Lakeland will support any
absolutely.
independent. They are very independent forward. I think people forget to look at the fact that just because you have a love of cooking doesn't mean you understand business.
Yeah.
So
Message.
Big facts.
I can love to cook, but if I didn't know how to order food correctly and I didn't know how to run my budget and I
Yep.
didn't know how to ensure
measure
the front
things
of the
right to make
house,
sure the overhead was good.
yeah, those
And
numbers
price
are
everything
irrelevant. Right.
Hey.
So a lot
Margins.
of them that come in, the other part I try to preach to everybody is Lakeland takes 6 months. You got to be true to your concept, true to your dream
Minimum.
for 6 months. Because if you're not true to your own dream and you're not being consistent 100% to your own
How do you
dreams,
expect your
nobody else is going to believe in you because you've already told them that you're unsure. You're not confident. I'm questioning it. You've got to be there and actually show up for your own 100%.
You are
6
preaching
months
to
in
the choir,
Lakeland.
sister.
you got to walk the walk
That's right.
and talk the talk.
And it may be a struggle for those 6 months, but you got to give it 6 months to find out whether or not it's something that will work for you or will work for Lakeland.
Yes.
And then you have the ability to turn around and go, okay, I need to pivot a little bit here. So even like here in Frescos, we started off as 1,200 square feet. 2 years later, we took another 1,200 square feet. We changed our concept. We added things. We shifted it. We pivoted.
Yep.
So, we started dinner at that point. We added beer and wine to our platform. 2 years later, we bought out the next space. Literally had to buy them out. Our landlord says sometimes you just have to buy that square footage you want.
You gotta buy it.
So we took the next 1,200 square feet for the front of the house. In that chaos, we still had the time to take over multiple spaces that were unseen. So we have the banquet room, the boardroom,
Yep.
and our lovely speakeasy.
Oh, come
Can't
on
wait to
now.
get that tour.
We've had those spaces for the majority of the time we were here after the first 2 years because it was a need. We saw that niche and we saw that ability to go, okay, Lakeland will support.
You saw the growth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they became those little things. And it's funny, 15 years later, people still say, oh my God, I didn't know you had these rooms here. I didn't know you catered, because we've never really
you don't advertise it.
It's all been word of mouth.
It's all word
That's
of mouth.
because
that's huge.
they come here, they see the menu, they get the food, and like, man, hey, they're not even venturing to the back half until they go to the bathroom. That's when like, wait a minute, what is this?
It's funny because when you go to the bathroom, people always see the same reaction. They're like, whoa. You know,
It's
like,
like, where'd all this come from?
yeah, like I didn't know this was back here.
Like, is this the same place?
I will say this. Since you guys have been here, you guys, and I've always said it, and I told my wife the same thing, and my wife is very, I love the city. She's very, you know what I mean?
Big city girl.
Bro, she loves it, bro. Like, she loves it. And, you know, we go to places, we like traveling, and we go places and we see different, you know, we love eating. We're foodies. And every time she always says, I don't like Lakeland. I don't like Lakeland. She's like, but I love Frescos. And we'll go to Frescos. And she's like, I really love the ambiance.
That's one.
And she's like, I love the front, how they did the front, because this wasn't here. For those who, you really knew Frescos, this was never here.
Yeah.
Well, we had the four tables out front.
Now that's it, but now you guys.
This was a blessing of COVID.
Yeah.
You know, everybody looked at COVID for a lot of different reasons and
you
how
needed
we
to
had to
space out.
pivot. We needed outside seating, so Lemon Side, those 5 tables came in through COVID, and then the parklets came into play, and it was like, heck yeah, we're gonna take it.
You guys set. I feel like you guys set a bar now in Lakeland when it comes to business and dining, especially here in the downtown area.
Yeah.
And now you can see the other businesses following suit.
I
Right.
definitely feel like, and I think the guys agree, and anybody else would agree, that you guys, Frescos, is the forefront of the revitalization of.
Revitalization.
He's my grammar coach.
Yeah.
Revitalization.
Revitalization.
Say it again.
Revitalization.
Yeah, you're that.
Yes.
But you're definitely the forefront, because I feel like, and correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong, but ever since Frescos came, things just started to quote unquote clean up.
Yeah.
You know.
Like I said, I think we were the understanding for everybody else that, hey, it will be supported. It can be done. So we have seen the growth in downtown. The one thing that I will say about downtown is we're diverse. We've got a lot of different restaurants, which is great. Everybody always looks at it like restaurants are in competitions.
No.
And even my friends over in Tampa that own restaurants, they say the same thing. And
Table's
I'm like,
big enough.
the city's big enough.
No.
You're not going to eat at the same place every day.
Oh.
Right.
You know, we're diverse enough to make sure that we're palatable for everybody.
And you are.
So we need to get to a community where the restaurant industry in itself doesn't feel like we're competing with one another. That we're here for support.
It's amazing because I never thought about that. Because when you sit and think about the restaurants that's in downtown, they are not competing with each other because they all
have
service
their own
different
lane.
things.
Yeah, they all have their own niche.
That's a fact. Yeah, you're right. That's put things in perspective, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because this strip right here that you're on, man, that you're. Man, listen, you got the Palace Pizza here.
Chop
which has
House.
been around for ever.
Yeah,
You know,
20
and
years or so,
to
20
me, it's one
years.
of the best pizza places
In the
there
county.
there is out there. You know, the people has always been great that own it, and it's always been A+. And then you got the Chop House,
Yep.
and
You got
Chop
Burger
Shop.
Now,
Chop Shop.
1961, you got what's the Harry's?
Yeah.
Harry's.
Oh,
You
hey,
got
don't get me
the-
started on
Yeah,
Harry's.
Harry's
got
been
the-
there.
And Harry's was there.
Always.
Harry's is
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
They've been
We
a
got to
downtown
give.
staple.
Oh,
Right,
Nah.
we definitely got to give Harry's.
Not
that.
longer than the mom and pop across the park.
Where?
The one right across from the cigar lounge.
Oh, I don't think. Oh, the
You talking
silver.
about the diner? The diner?
Silver Ring.
Silver Ring.
They're not there anymore.
They're not there anymore.
Not there no more. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a.
The one on the corner across from the bank.
Yeah, it
The
used
one
to.
on the corner is Delicious. They
Yeah.
came in about 8 or 9
It used to be an
years
ice cream.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're right.
Yeah.
Like an old town, like malt.
Malt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to
Yeah.
go there.
Me
I used
too.
to take my older kids there, bro. I
Yeah.
used to love that spot.
But that place, I don't know, the Silver Ring.
Silver Ring.
That
Yes.
you go in there, it was cash only.
Yeah.
You know, and they had the best Cuban.
Like SNL.
Yeah,
Like SNL. I think SNL just converted to.
You're kidding,
no,
really?
They take card now.
Oh, my
They
goodness.
always were cash only.
Yeah.
Now they take card.
It was funny because so many people would get in there and they're like,
Oh, yeah.
somebody would have to run off to the bank.
I gotta go to the ATM.
Exactly.
I swear, my business mind, I would have been like, I'm gonna buy an ATM and I'm
sit
gonna
it
put
right there.
Aside.
Problem solved.
If you don't have cash, you can use the ATM.
Hey, like most
Go ahead.
bars.
Yeah, bro.
Look at Devontae with the French toast over there.
Delicious.
Hold on, man. You gotta get a picture of that. Right there.
How would you define the food here? Like,
You know, when we first started, we were breakfast and lunch. Then 2 years later, when we took over the first spot, we were very diverse. We did a little bit of everything. So the first probably 4 years, 5 years, we didn't have an identity. We were really just, hey, we're just good food.
let's just throw some good food on the
Just
table.
good food on the table. When the city started having more independents opening up, and we had that ability to take on more of those gap spaces of food culture, we were like, okay, we got to build an identity. So we went with Southern because I've got a Georgia father, a West Virginia mom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Southern.
I was raised on beans and rice. You know, all those struggles we've all had as kids.
Yes.
It was like, okay, this is kind of my comfort zone. This is where I'm comfortable with, and we kind of ran with it. So
Southern
then
food is comfort food.
It is.
Yes, it is.
We just call it a little bougier.
Just, hey, this is Southern food that you can eat
with your pinky up.
You know?
Bad and bougie.
That's it.
And that's funny you said it because that's how I describe Frescos. When I do come across someone who's never heard of it, I was like, dude, it's Southern food but bougie.
Yeah.
Bougie.
A little bit bougie, you know.
Right.
It's good though. It's delicious. It's delicious, and you guys offer a variety
Yes.
of things. That's every time I will say this. I come in here, and every time I come in here, there's different folks from different walks of life.
Yeah.
Everybody comes. You know what I mean? It's like
definitely.
you go to certain businesses and you see one type,
One culture.
one
or
culture.
or the other.
Nah, here everybody comes.
I will say that it's always been that way, and we
Yeah.
used to stand there and be so proud and go, oh my God, the dining rooms, 50 or 75-30. Nowadays, it's like it's 50-50.
Yeah, it's
like
mixed,
no matter
everything.
what, it is so diverse.
Yeah.
I contribute that to COVID, though. We've always had a
Oh, yeah.
very, very blended style guest profile, but after COVID, the culture did so much social media advertising that it really diversified it another layer. And I think part of that is because we also take into consideration when designing the menu, okay, what is this cultural eating habit?
Yeah. What do they like to
So-
eat?
Exactly. So we know that pork is not one of your bigger genres.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we
a lot of people
switched
cutting it out.
uh,
Turkey.
religious, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, yeah.
So we switched our shrimp and grits to turkey chorizo.
Yeah.
It's funny, we don't tell anybody
Yep.
unless they say something, then we address it.
Yep.
And they're like, what?
You can't
like-
taste the
Yeah.
difference.
No.
There is
Keisha don't eat
no
it.
difference
At all.
whatsoever in the flavor. And when we did it originally, we did it without telling anybody because we wanted to see if they changed that flavor profile,
And they
if
didn't
anybody
even know.
recognized
Nope.
it. So once we started that, it was like, oh my God, they're being respectful to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're looking at what we do, and they're
taking it in,
into
yeah.
consideration. And I think in a world of independent businesses and just in a world of business in general, that if you don't take that time and look at the bigger picture, you leave out a huge layer of the culture
That's a fact.
that could be your clients.
Correct.
So, again, in that whole idea of restaurants, people go in there going, I'm going to shove my idea down your throat.
Yeah. You don't do that.
That, yeah, you got to be true to yourself, but in that second layer, you got to go, okay, the people that are true to me, how do I need to be true to them? So these are progressional steps that we've done to make sure that we're looking at the culture as a whole to make sure that we're being aware of it and taking those initial steps to make sure that we're being diverse for everybody.
I don't know if you did it on purpose, but I know, like, I don't go to this church anymore for any particular reason, but you guys are definitely ingrained in the church as far as like millennials.
Culture.
And bro, like Gray City, this used to be the place to come after church.
Yeah.
Like,
Still
She said it still is.
That's what I'm
Why
saying.
do you think you're up so
Yeah.
early?
Yeah, she
Like,
said
that's why I said, if you can listen, let me tell you something. If this is a place you want to come, I definitely recommend you come to it. But
Be
this
here
is
early.
not I wonder what I want. Let me come to Frescos. Oh, it's on a Sunday. No, you need to have your mind made up already because listen,
on
this is the
code.
place to come on Sunday.
Yeah.
And everybody knows it.
Yeah.
The line still like it was during COVID to try
Never
and get in here on
stopped.
a
Yeah, it
Sunday.
never changed. It's
Yeah.
the only place that I can say I come through, and it's always in and out traffic, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the reason why we're like she said, we're here so early because when church lets out,
Yeah.
we got to clear this
We need
table.
the
It's funny you said that about the turkey and the pork because my dad's always been like this Hellman's guy, right?
Yep.
My dad's like, oh, I just want Hellman's mayonnaise. No, everything else is trash. And my mom's like, Duke's is better,
Yes, it is.
which it is. So one day, my mom said, I'm going to do something to your dad. And I said, what? She grabbed his Hellman's mayonnaise and threw it down the drain and rinsed it out and took the Dukes and put it in the Hellman's and put it on the table, right? And we're all sitting there eating, and my dad goes, this is real mayonnaise. He's, spreading it on this, and I'm like, okay. He's like, you guys can keep that trash. And I said, okay. I mean, he ate it, and he's like, good Hellman's. My mom goes, that was Duke's. And he says, what? She says, that was Duke's. You haven't had Hellman's in over a week. And he said, no. And she's like, yes. She's like, Anthony saw me do it. And he goes, you let her do that to me? And I said, Duke's is better, Dad. And he goes, it is pretty good. So now, needless to say, all they buy now is Duke's. And people don't understand that a lot of times, even mentally, people have like stigmas against certain, oh, it's turkey, it's bland. I don't even like turkey on Thanksgiving, it's dry. You know what I mean? But if you really like step out of your element and try it, those are definitely way healthier options, man. And
Yeah, I don't know. Turkey bacon is kind of hard to get around.
you have to try
You have
the
the uncured turkey bacon.
and it has to be
Told you
from
my guys know.
go to
about food.
Publix and go get the Applegate uncured turkey bacon, and I promise you'll never think the
Lou.
same
I'm
again.
glad. See, that's why I keep you guys around.
It's the best, bro. You want rubber or you want to taste? Yeah, you want to taste the
Yes,
meat.
you want to taste the meat or you want to taste cardboard.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly
that other
what I
stuff
got.
tastes like.
With the turkey bacon.
This man's been buying Butterball turkey
Yeah,
bacon.
it's
Yeah.
like,
With
I
the-
tried it. I was on my health tip.
With the artificial color in it. They ain't no, that's not even healthy.
I got to revisit that. Then that's why I keep you guys around. Always keep me informed.
So you said something earlier when we were talking about the kids and the grandkids and everybody coming in. Free time.
What's that?
See, that's why. So
Yeah, because the word around
the
town.
word around town is you don't take no
you don't
days
take
off.
days off. And I
You
was
don't
told
take
to ask you when's the
vacations.
last time you had a day off. How many hours do you work a week?
We average probably close to 100 most weeks.
Oh my God.
It's a part-time job. 3 or 4 part-time jobs. So we don't take a lot of time off, and part of that is just the success. Part of it is I'm probably not as bad as Gordon Ramsay, but I do have some expectations.
Your standards. You have standards.
Up until probably 5 years ago, we did everything ourselves until we started bringing in those other layers of sales teams, catering teams, management, stuff like that. So we are kind of set in our ways.
You're worried.
Our staff is very set in their ways,
Yeah.
so they're very judgmental. And part of that judgmental aspect when bringing in outside people is because they've seen us work so hard,
to build it.
they expect the new staff to come in
The standard.
and work equally hard. Or as I always tell them, it's like, listen, you may not get a 10, but if we can get 6 or 7,
Yeah.
we can find somebody else that can give us 6 or 7 and we can make a whole.
Yeah. We'll make a hole.
It's a horrible way to look at it, but it's just reality.
Mm-hmm.
But the staff, because they've given their heart and soul, and so many of them are such long-time employees that they've worked with us for so long, and they know the sweat and tears.
They treat it like
go through.
it's their business too.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it is.
Yep.
It is. In
I
the
definitely get
restaurant
the family
industry,
vibe around here. Every time I come here, it's definitely like brothers and sisters, and you're the mom. You know what I mean?
We
are.
fight. We may fight, but we love each other.
But so, Frescos, it's just not the restaurant. You have a lot going on. You have the catering, you have the speakeasy, and one thing I really want to touch on, because I found it fascinating, is the marketplace. Explain to the people who don't know what the marketplace is and what its objective is.
So last year, sometime in June or July, we had the opportunity to take over the taco bus space. The guys just wanted to get out of it. They have such a successful business in the clothing industry across the street.
Yeah, to my Abbott and
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
those
I
are
didn't
my
know
brothers.
they were involved with the taco bus.
Yeah.
They own it. Their mom owned it. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So-
Shout out to them.
They wanted to step away from it because it was like, okay, monetarily, this wasn't the way to go because as most people don't really understand, restaurants' profit line's only like 5 to 10%, where the clothing is like 300.
Yeah. It's a lot.
So he's like, I need to dedicate my time into this. So we worked out a deal, and like I said earlier, you had to buy your space. So we bought the taco bus space out because I wanted the kitchen. Our catering department had gotten so large over the last 12 to 18 months that we needed the space. We had started shopping, and we were really hesitant about going off property because we're all so intertwined in how we handle catering for the restaurant, the event spaces, our prep, our day-to-day prep. So it was like that was going to be very hard. So buying out the space over here made it all contiguous again. So we have, out of the 3,000 square feet, somewhere in that vicinity, we have the back half of it. That's our catering kitchen now. The front half, the city would absolutely murder me if we closed off storefronts. And we kind of knew that. So we were like, okay, what can we do that's going to be community forward? So what we have now in that front section is a young entrepreneurs kind of market space where the employees, or not the employees, but the entrepreneurs and designers and creators out of Catapult and out of just the city itself have the opportunity to come in and sell their product.
Love it.
Tell us about Catapult to the people who don't know what that is.
Yeah, good question.
See, I got
You're
an
a
affinity for
Lakelander?
that. Well, no, for Catapult.
Do you know about Catapult?
My ex-wife, we went through that process when we started our business. We started off through the Catapult and the Co-Starter program and all of that.
Oh, awesome. So Catapult used to be a much smaller kind of footprint, and it was designed as an incubator to build young entrepreneurs, to give them workspaces either for business or creative. At the time, in the original one, the creative was really more the kitchen than anything else. So you had offices that you could come in and work out of, create. It was the birthing space of Born and Bred.
Yeah, which shout out to my boy Chris MacArthur's wife. Yeah,
Man, listen,
and Black and
And
Brew.
Jennifer.
Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah.
Born and Bred is listen,
Wonderful.
I could do a whole episode talking great about them, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So they have a lot of great footprints and a lot of great companies. So when they stepped up and did the new build out, gosh, was it been 6 years ago now? 5 years?
If I'm not mistaken, that was the transition moving from the building over there to this
The building
one.
over here.
Yeah.
I want to say that's horrible because we
It's in
just did their
2025.
anniversary. So I'm sorry, I don't remember. They opened up a maker space, so you have wood grafting, building furniture, all kinds of different things over there now. So jewelry making, there's print for clothing, all kinds of different genres that weren't available at the first Catapult one. So we have teamed up with them, and as long as their vendors meet their criteria, meaning we're very food forward, so they have to have agricultural licensing and they have to have all of their insurance and stuff like that. Because we are technically retailing, they just have to have all the proper proper licensing for it, and Catapult helps them with all of that.
Yes, it does.
And we've got a couple that are working on getting their ag license so we can bring them in. We give them the opportunity to rent kind of a booth space, which is kind of new in this kind of genre, to be able to start going, okay, now if I have to produce 5 days, 6 days, 7 days a week, what is that going to look like? So we're a stepping stone to Catapult to help the community.
Love it.
And totally unbeknownst to us, as after we got it all going and we were close to opening, we found out that the city had been talking to Catapult about, hey, y'all really need to open up a market. And they're like, that is not our footprint. That is not what we want to do. So,
but it happened.
It happened.
Yeah.
It happened, and it happened in a great organic kind of manner to make sure that we were very community forward.
Organic.
Organic.
That's our motto.
Organic and intentional. Those are the words for
Yeah.
2025.
Yes.
Organic and intentional.
I need my sound effect.
I'm glad that board's on your ears would be heard right now.
He's busy eating. He's not paying attention to anything.
No, you're good.
To a lot of people who are like you're thinking about getting into entrepreneurship, right? I would recommend going to Catapult. Because it's just like the name. It's to springboard you. They're going to give you all the little
tools.
nuances that you didn't think of. They're going to give you those tools, and then they're also going to give you different resources.
And mentorship.
Right.
So there are so many successful entrepreneurs that are there for them to talk to, ask questions, direct their thoughts. People there that can help them with all their licensing, their marketing, stuff like that. It's just a huge group or networking of individuals that are here to help the community succeed.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. When you told me that, I was like, we definitely need to touch on that because I think that's great, man. It's a lot of when you're starting your own business, there's just not a lot. Well, I guess nowadays there's more options for help and Catapult and what you're doing with the market is awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
What we're finding is that right now we're 5 days a week, and we're going to increase it as everybody gets comfortable. But what we're learning still with 5 days a week is it's definitely making everybody rethink how they're producing their products, especially the culinary aspect. I heard one of them the other day saying that the sales were so big, he's going to have to figure out how he's going to have to use the kitchen space over there differently to make sure he can produce enough.
Wow.
And that was a good high five because he is seeing that growth and that win that he needed to see.
Yeah.
To see, okay, now when we were talking about promoting, because we also do all the social media and we do a lot of the promoting and stuff like that, that it's like, okay, we're not looking about what you did 2 years ago. We're looking at where you want to go the 2 years in front of you.
Right.
So if you didn't think that, hey, Valentine's Day is not a real big thing, now all of a sudden he sold out 2 days in a row, and he's like, okay, maybe this is a bigger thing than we thought it was. Because Saturday's Farmers Market's not going to give you that same perspective as people being able to come in and now grab flowers and chocolates and this and that, all in the same spot.
They get to see the scope of what it is.
Right, and even if you forget, you can come in there and make sure you get everything taken care of in one spot. We wrap it up. We make it all nice and pretty. Exactly.
One-stop shop.
And more importantly, one-stop shop. It's all local, independent entrepreneurs.
That is awesome. I love it. So, if any entrepreneurs out there want to, have a place to place their product,
Catapult.
And it's,
in the market.
and it's more than just for food.
Yeah.
Like that's the main thing. Like just because we're talking about food now, is everything what you need as far as like just getting your foot and getting information. Go to Catapult. It's gonna help you out.
Yeah. So, Ms. Tina, we had a chance to really kick back our feet at a special event this last couple months. What was that? January?
Yeah, it was January.
We
That's
were
where we reconnected.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, my God. Tina. Granted, they were introducing us. He's like, oh, my God. You did our wedding.
Yeah. Because the whole time I'm looking at you, I said, I know that lady from somewhere, and when he said your name, and by him is Christopher King. I want to talk a little bit about your relationship with Chris King and because I think the people should know something, about what he has going on and how you're involved with it. If you can elaborate a little more on that relationship.
Christopher, we got into contact with Christopher due to another dinner that we did. But Christopher has a program called the Gentleman's Club, which it really probably should have a more unisex name to it. Although and Christopher King is actually B.B. King's grandson.
Yes.
Right.
So he's got a little forward understanding in the community as to who he is.
Yes.
He works really closely with the underprivileged. Here he's working through Achievement Academy. His program does etiquette classes and anything about making sure that the youth today understands respect and how to move forward.
Which is necessary.
Business-wise, social-wise, relationship-wise. So we teamed up and we actually sponsor the meals, and we go to the school and we do a 3-course meal teaching them how to use the right silverware, right glassware, right, how do you lay your forks down after you get done to make sure that the serving staff understands that you're completely finished with your meal and it's safe to take.
That's amazing.
So, and we're working on branching that out into other schools.
That's awesome.
But he is, and I never asked you, what is your involvement with him? I knew you did a podcast with him prior to the show.
We definitely recently had him on the podcast. I met Christopher King through mutual friends, and I just, of course, I'm from Tennessee, so B.B. King has always been, something I paid attention to. And, like I said, mutual friends. He had the gala, about last year I went to the one, and I was amazed by what I seen,
That gala blew me away.
Yes.
We went over to Clearwater. It was over at the
what's the name of the place?
The Scientology.
The
Scientology.
building.
Yes. I was
Yeah.
like, what is that?
I was
So
trying
funny.
to think of the name. Harrison Building or something like that?
Fort Harrison.
Fort Harrison.
Fort
There it is,
Harrison.
there it is.
Scientology building. Never in a million years expected to walk into such a beautiful facility.
Man.
It was unbelievable. Between the stages, the draping, the curtains,
Everything.
the
thought-
teleprompters,
thought
the
out.
whole 9 yards. It's like, oh my God, they definitely televised things from this platform. But it was so professionally handled, so professionally done. And then we found out also that they donated 100% of it for the cause. So here in Lakeland, human trafficking is focused forward from One More Child, which One More Child does human trafficking and also fostering children and adoptions. So when we saw how involved the Scientology world was and how that was very forward with the creator of Scientology, it was interesting. It was definitely directions in the human trafficking element that we never thought about. Tim and myself, Tim is my husband, we've done some leadership classes through Lakeland and the chamber that kind of put us in front of some of these things, in front of the school systems, and seeing how the number of children that are homeless, or number of children that can't buy clothes or can't eat or don't have that ability to actually feel passionate about something, even though the school systems now are doing more tech training. It's been very interesting, and we've gotten very involved with the education center. We go to the schools more in the culinary aspect to train and teach and talk. But we're involved with Connect Ed and in schools and talking to the students, going, listen, you have to have a dream. You don't have to have the money. You have to have the dream, and you have to have that foresight to actually get where you want to go. And part of that is being able to ask those questions.
Yeah.
And ask those questions and actually listen to them. So it's been funny. Everybody knows I hate public speaking, so this is kind of even out of the box for me.
Look at that. Look at us.
See, it's
I
good
know,
though,
it's
because
like-
there's nobody. It's like there's no one here.
But there's some people.
I understand the therapy to it. So we've been doing a lot of that in front of the students, and it's been very interesting to listen to some of their questions and understand that, hey, the struggle is real. They are in these positions. But as I was talking to some of them over at Travis, Tenor Rock, which is one of our lower income schools.
Right.
It's like, listen, I was in your shoes.
Yeah, I've been there.
I started off that way. I was a beans and rice raised child. We went through those struggles. It doesn't mean that defines you. It doesn't make you who you're going to be as an adult. It's just something you have to get through as you're being raised.
That's right.
And understand that, hey, this may be who I am today, but it's not who I'm going to be
defining
tomorrow.
who I'm going to be tomorrow.
Right.
I love it.
So we're doing a lot of those inspirational conversations with these kids because these kids are our future.
Yeah, definitely.
And if we don't start putting our time into them,
We're going to lose them.
then we're going to lose them.
And we don't want to do that.
And we're having Chris on the podcast, and he was explaining what he does as far as like going to the school and teaching the simple stuff that we were taught as kids, as far as like good manners, posture, how to dress, how to put your forks and spoons, and I thought to myself, I was like, man, that something so little is really so big. Like
It is.
that's the seed to where these kids can go. Something so simple like that.
I think situations like that, you got to understand, a lot of us that did grow up on rice and beans, we weren't able to get in certain rooms.
Right.
And when you're able to get into certain rooms and you don't know how to sit in that room, it definitely stands out.
Definitely.
Well, you stand out
Yeah.
not in the room,
Correct.
but in your
You
head.
stand correct.
And-
Yeah.
And in your head, you convince
Yeah.
yourself something
You can
that's
get
not there.
you don't want that.
Right.
And it can ruin anything that you have
Now,
possible.
Chris also gets for the gala. He dresses them all in tuxedos,
Oh, it's
the
beautiful.
whole 9 yards. It's
Beautiful.
unbelievable how he takes them
Yeah.
out of that space that they're in and tells them that, hey,
Yeah.
this is where you can be and this is what you can be comfortable in.
Yeah.
You just have to learn to respect yourself.
Yeah,
And I
definitely.
think that's
And
the
carry
part.
yourself with a higher standard.
Exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because when I went to the first time I went to the gala, we talk about being in those rooms and know how to act in those rooms. I kept telling myself over and over again, Lewis, have some
Don't embarrass
class.
yourself.
Yeah,
Bro.
act like you've been here before, buddy. Because I'm looking around and I'm looking at, the ambiance, the food, the drapes, and
everything.
everybody's just glittering,
Yeah, they're
you
dressed
know,
in their
and,
best.
and then, I was really like excited by the all-you-can-eat prime rib that was there.
Bro, no, you're not. I don't know. Like, I don't feel like to me it was anything that I necessarily taught. It's just I've always been
Yeah.
my dad and my mom. Like they always kind of like, listen. You can do anything,
Right.
as long as you are able to have a sustainable conversation with anyone. You can fit in any room.
Any room, period.
Fact, yeah.
So kids out there,
So,
kids, open your mouth.
Open your mouth and don't
Pause.
be afraid.
Get off.
Don't be afraid to speak and speak to someone. It's like I told my son the other day, right? I was telling her that my son moved, and we were talking about employment. I was like, what are you doing for work? And he's like, yeah, right now I'm working at Mayor's and this. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I said, listen, do not stop yourself from exploring other ventures. Do not just stay in a certain, I'm
put
only
your-
good for this.
don't
Don't
put
put
yourself
yourself
in
in
a
that.
box.
Don't put yourself in a box. I said, because me, career-wise, I would have never thought I was going to be what I'm doing. I said, but I am. And I said, and it actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise, because here I am thinking, I'll never do that career. I'll never jump in that field. And it was actually the career that gave me the tools that I needed to provide for my family the way I wanted to
I love that
provide,
story.
for my family. And I said, so don't be afraid to think outside of your comfort level or your bubble and say, you know what, I'm going to go for it. Because sometimes you can be selling yourself short if you don't.
Yeah. That's definitely something I can attest to.
We talked earlier about working from home. And one thing Chris did mention in one of our conversations is that, today's kids, they see their parents working from home. They don't understand getting up and going and doing
Going
a
to work.
job. So there has been, since COVID, a huge disconnect of what work looks like.
Labor.
You're
People
right.
have, or the kids today are not understanding that sweat equity to work. So I think that is another thing that Chris is kind of explaining to them, is that, like you said,
You got to get off your butt.
you got to get off your butt. You've got to go do this stuff, and you got to learn from it. Every experience, every job
Builds character in a
has to
person.
have something that you're going to take from it, because it's ultimately going to get you where you want.
Correct.
Like we were talking earlier, at 21, I never planned on opening a restaurant.
And here you are.
I had been in the restaurant industry since I was 16, but a situation fell in my lap. And it was like, okay, now you learn on the job.
Mm-hmm.
Kids today have to understand that, those opportunities are still out there. We have to be aware and we have to look for them.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to have an open mind.
Definitely.
That opportunity may not be what you ever expected to do when you were an adult.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't think kids today are really looking at what they want to do as an adult. They're still just trying to get through social media, peer pressure, bullying, all the stuff that's taking
which
place
is a
in
way
school.
different time than
Totally. I don't know. Bullying was there.
Is
It was
different.
bullying
It was there as
was
a kid.
different. We used to do
handled it
hazing. Yeah, we handled it different.
Bullying back in our time was more
was 4 or
physical.
5 people.
Right, but nowadays bullying is more emotional because we just also have a generation of kids on both sides, the bully and the bullier, or however you want to say it, just being children that don't know how to deal with their emotions in the first place.
Right, right.
And I think that's because everybody's typing all the time. And when
Yep.
you're typing,
There's
there is no emotion.
is
It's
no
just
emotion.
words.
It's words. And
They've got to find their words again.
Yeah.
They got to find their words. I
So-
mean, social media is great, and AI is great, and computers are great, but we're all getting disconnected from our own personal
that
This
is
is true.
from
From
people.
humanity.
From
I find
people.
it.
From being
Yeah.
human, just period. And quickly, Chris King. Speaking on Chris King, he wanted us to ask you a question.
We reached out.
So he said, if there's one community impact event that you can do for Polk County or Lakeland, what would it be that you have not done yet?
Whew. I always laugh because we are a very quiet community forward business or couple, Tim and I. So people don't understand all the stuff that we do for the community on the backside. I don't know. We're so involved in Achievement Academy, Academy Prep,
Love it.
the Children's Museum. Usually our passion goes to kids and goes to cancer because Tim and I both are cancer survivors and we've had it in our family. So we're always very forward in those. But education has become very, like I said, very forward for us in making sure that we can give our time and our dedication to the students. But we do a lot. I'm not 100% sure because we do so much for so many. It's kind of crazy to actually sit down
To add
and
another here, like,
to put the list on there. One More Child we're involved with. We do a lot of stuff with them. And then every Thanksgiving we feed the entire office because they're so busy giving back to everybody else that they need to feel appreciated too.
Yes.
So, things kind of fall in our lap and we grab a hold of them and we just kind of go forward with them. But there is a lot, and I'm not sure. I know Chris's cause has become very passionate to us. So I think that's going to be the biggest one, that we're going to be more involved because we've talked about doing it over in Clearwater and St. Pete and stuff with him to make sure he has that avenue to actually achieve what he's looking for. But outside of that, I'm not real sure. We do so much for the community. That's
Chris,
kind
she's
of,
ready for whatever.
I know.
That's what it sounds like.
She said, "That's like, Chris, what do you want to throw on me this time?"
He's like, cha-ching.
Chris is like, "That's what I wanted to hear."
So yeah, I got a yes before I even asked.
Before I asked.
That was definitely a baited question.
When I read the text, I was like, "There's a agenda behind this
Like,
question."
there's something already in the works that he's just like, okay, that box is checked. We already got our part.
Hey, that's what he was talking to his people like, "Yeah, man, we just gotta." Matter of fact, let me hit Lou up. Ask Tina this question.
Well, one thing we didn't realize with Chris is he only works with children's organizations that are free. So with Academy Prep being free, he does everything for them. Over in St. Pete and Clearwater, he wanted to work with the Boys and Girls Club, but they charge a membership fee, so they can't do it. But Polk County does not.
Yeah.
So we're going to get him involved with Polk County because we're doing a fundraiser with Mitch and all of them for the Boys and Girls Club. So we're going to bring him on and have him introduced with them.
That's awesome.
And
Keep
our
us
next
in mind.
one
We'd
is
love to be involved.
Yeah.
in
involved.
some-
Definitely.
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 Listen,
You took the words right out. what I was going to say.
So the Boys and Girls Club's another one of the kids organizations that we do a lot of fundraising for and donations for.
Great,
so, we're understanding that the community is only going to be as strong as we make it, and we have to give forward to the kids today to get us where we want to be in the future, because they are our future.
That's a fact.
They're going to be taking care of us one day.
Whether we like it or not.
That's right. So we need to be forward and understand that.
That's right. One thing I do want to understand, like I want to ask you, so with Frescos and the operating system that, what is the one motto or one thing that you put into your employees, like
Your mission statement.
yeah, what is your mission statement here? Like, what's one thing that's like, listen, this is what we stand on,
Yeah,
and everybody in this place should stand on it.
I think the mission statement for me, and that I try to strive for the staff, is to make sure that everybody feels welcome. No matter what, they're a guest in your house. This is our house. They're coming in, and we have to respect them as such. We need to give them that appreciation for coming in and making sure that we understand that without them, we wouldn't be here.
That's a fact.
But in the kitchen, we also strive to understand that, hey, if we don't do something right, we're costing ourselves.
Yeah.
So get it right the first time.
Get it right the first time, especially with the food cost being like it is. We don't want to keep making mistakes and having issues. Eggs.
Yes.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
I have a question for you.
Oh no.
There was this thing
You said
that
eggs.
you guys used to have on the menu. Let's see. This would have been about
Look.
like maybe 5-6 years ago.
I like that he had to count how old he was when he was here.
The fact that he had to go.
So, the Wagyu steak that you guys used to make.
COVID eliminated the Wagyu steaks. Only because the prices got so astronomical
Got it.
that it wasn't cost effective. So we were doing all those high-end dry-aged T-bones, porterhouses, you name it. They were beautiful. But I will say, in that whole scenario, next door we have a private cattle rancher, Pine House, that has dry-aged steaks over there, tomahawks, you name it, everything.
I love it.
So
My smoker's calling me.
very local.
Yeah, me and him, the steak guys.
Yes, beautiful, beautiful ones. We've bought steaks recently from another purveyor, which is Allen Brothers, which is the steaks that typically are the ones Burns uses and all your heavy-duty steakhouses. And they are butter. They are so beautiful. But we've also used his. Comparing them together, they are so close that it's unbelievable.
That's the
that's-
love they give their cattle.
Yes.
That's the love they give their
The
cattle.
love they give their cattle, but also the way they produce it, and the way they're butchering it and stuff like that.
Which
But
a lot of people don't realize.
Yes.
that is another
If you
step
don't
in
cut it right.
It's not even that. It's so like I said, I'm a nerd. I'm a foodie. Japanese culture. That's why I appreciate Japanese culinary culture. They understand the importance of how to put the animal down before
humane way.
in a humane way and as fast as least stressful as possible,
'Cause the stress
because they
changes
realize
the
the
meat.
stress changes the flavor profile
That's
and
definitely
even the consistency of the stuff. So when you say that, it makes perfect sense, because if what they say, you ever had a they say, you ever tasted an angry cow? And they're like, what? And they're like, yeah. They're like,
This was
go,
an angry
they're
cow.
like, go try a shitty steak. That cow was angry.
I got an off the air question to ask everybody.
Moving on.
You gotta get a cow while he's in his happiest state. To have that butter.
One thing I do want to touch before we end this, I like to, consider myself journalist without going to journalism school, kind of like you didn't go to culinary school.
That's right.
So in my journalistic investigation, did I say that right?
Journalistic investigation. Yeah, we'll take it.
Okay, all right. So in my investigation, I heard some rumblings and some rumors.
Uh-oh.
Now, can you
They
tell?
could be true. They could not be true.
In Lou's case, he hopes it is true.
I'm trying to tell
this
you.
This is like a personal happiness that I'm getting from this.
Oh, okay. Hopefully it's good. 'Cause my cheeks getting tight.
I feel like this is going to be the first public announcement.
I'm going to ask you this
might.
question. I'm going to ask you. You know, you can tell me to
You can
mind
say
my
we
business.
can't talk about this right now.
Yeah.
How about do this?
This ain't no comment.
Then bring it back.
Hey, no, you slide the question over.
Yeah.
I heard about some new adventures
actually serious,
that you
slide it
have going on.
You know, we swore we would never do it.
What y'all are doing?
We've been approached multiple times over the years. Yes, we are doing it. What is it though?
Yeah, what is it? What is it? If
Now,
you want
this particular it involves the town of Arbondale.
Yes.
Okay.
About 6 months ago. This is
Okay.
You
yeah,
interested?
it's coming to you.
Okay.
Hey, you saw he went to rubbing
Yeah.
Hold on, let me tell my wife.
Yeah. Okay. Talk, Tina.
So about 6 months ago, a new property owner came to us, and like usual, I sat there and I listened to it. And my husband swears he would have never told me if he knew the deal was going to be so sweet. But he's actually the one that gave his thumbs up, not me.
Yeah.
So now I can just blame him.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Tim. I'm so excited about this. You don't understand.
So we're taking over the Craven Copper space
Yes.
in downtown Auburndale.
Yes.
So Auburndale has got a
Craven Copper.
basically a downtown facelift taking place.
Yes, it does. Woo, I'm
This
so excited about it.
development company is really being as forward as possible, trying to redevelop and create a better downtown, or I don't want to say better because it's great already, but a fresher,
Yes.
more revitalized downtown. And I think what caught me the most is they said they want to make it the next Hyde Park.
Bro.
Love
And
it.
if any of us have been in the Hyde Park area,
Oh,
we're
yes.
like, oh, that's sweet. Because Hyde Park was not Hyde Park before.
Right.
It was
That's it. You're
downtown
right,
got redeveloped.
Right.
With those 5 new subdivisions coming out there.
Yes.
And, bro.
Exactly.
You know what she said? Chi-chi.
Yeah.
It was like, get on the ground floor.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
again,
Take
we
off
were on the
running.
ground floor. Frescos was the ground
That's
floor.
right. That's a fact.
So we are going over there. We're not going to be a Frescos because Frescos has got so many different
New
elements
name?
that it's really hard. Yes, new name.
We're not going to disclose that.
Oh, no, we can disclose it.
Yes. You heard it here first. Once again on This, That, and the Other. Yes, sir. Go ahead, Tina.
It's going to be the Abigail.
Ooh, why
We
the
figured-
Abigail? Watch her say it's like my favorite granddaughter.
No, 'cause I tried to figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
We wanted to go with a vintage name.
And that
because
is a
I
vintage.
love that.
Auburndale is a vintage town.
Yeah.
So we wanted it to kind of resonate that comfort, that, for lack of better terms, that grandmother.
Yeah, that grandmother
that,
finish.
that name that has been historical for your families and generations.
I love that.
So it is still going to be kind of bougie Southern. We will have live music. It will,
Will
be
the menu be similar or completely different? You want to go with a
completely
different?
Completely different.
So then, yeah, definitely, I got to make that drive too.
But
Hey, I
it will
live in
be another
Arbondale.
bourbon bar.
There'll be a bourbon. listen. Did you listen?
This guy.
This guy. That's all we have is bourbon.
Man, you
So-
made it even more exciting. For me.
I'm trying to tell you, boy. You see that kiddish,
You see him?
you see that childish clap that he
Hey,
just did?
that's definitely Roman's father.
Yes.
That's Roman's dad.
Man, I'm so excited now, man, because I've heard, the lake house is coming
Yes.
to Armadale.
Yep,
You
they're
know-
gonna they're gonna be neighbors.
Yes, and that's one of my favorite places to go to in Winter Haven. And for that, I was excited already. Now you're telling me this?
See what
Oh,
she didn't
man.
tell you. The kicker in there is that you're gonna be invited to the friends and family event.
That's right.
What is it?
He'll be doing
Bourbon.
a live podcast during it.
Yes, I love it. I love it.
We'll
We'll be at
take
the
it.
grand opening. I'm gonna be like Norm at Cheers.
Preferably they have an outside part so I can get one of them bourbons and have me a nice little cigar. Too.
We do. It has a huge.
It does. It's a great
Huge
outside
patio.
area, man.
Hey, so that you heard what he said.
Armadale needs that.
Humidor.
Cigar?
Yep. Humidor.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yeah,
should be.
Armadale
another-
does need that.
And that's one thing about Arbondale. Like me and my wife talk about this all the time. I've heard pitches for ideas for Arbondale, but all they want is the the chains, the Taco Bells, the Burger Kings.
No.
And but we need this.
Fresh.
We need the lake house. We need Abigail's. I loved Craven Copper. That was one of my favorite places to go. I hated to see them, go.
He
But
said, but I love to see them go now.
yeah, and the people of our Craven Copper were great.
They
I
were.
see you have she was one of them.
Yep,
she was a
Jamie.
server that we asked for when we went to Craven Copper all the time. So me and my wife love Craven Copper, but we're here now. Abigail's is here.
Abigail's it is.
And I'm so excited for this, man, because this is definitely the push that Arbondale needs to get into the more, upscale,
Modern.
modern look,
Contemporary.
Yeah.
what
I
it
love
is.
it. I love it.
I told you guys set the bar here.
That's right.
So now,
now
you
we're
guys
gonna do it
setting the bar
there.
over there.
Yes.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yes.
Imagine if you get an opportunity to go cross country,
Imagine.
nationwide.
Yes.
I know
know some people in Tennessee.
The franchise.
We're speaking it into existence.
Into existence.
Look,
Move
she's
it forward.
the only thing I will ask, Tina, is that you take a vacation
Yes.
because you deserve it.
That's
Yes.
kind of where the Abigail's
deserve it.
change is coming into
Yeah.
play. We're not making another job for ourselves. We're actually building a business concept. Kind of that thing. With here, when we started it, it was really about making the business successful, and to do
y'all.
it became a job. So we've been over the years trying to move ourselves out of the job
Yeah, y'all
and
deserve
into
it.
the ownership aspect, where
Yeah,
that one
that's-
will be more owners.
Gotta enjoy life.
That being said, I have a very young up-and-coming chef that's partnering with me. Spent many years in Charleston, so
That's a great.
Yeah, it's a
culinary.
great culinary.
that
Yeah.
kind of gives you
sound.
the little vibe that we're
Yeah,
going for.
I can see it. I can see it. I can
So-
see it. I can see it.
Yeah, look,
it's
it's
gonna be
excited.
fun.
We're looking forward to it. We're looking forward to it.
Yeah. Before we wrap this down, I do want to shout out your husband. You're right now sitting down with us, and you're kind of the face right now. But Tim
Has always
It's the
been
muscle
has always
behind
been
yeah.
there.
It's the muscle behind
Definitely
the.
want to shout out to him. For keeping you in line.
Hey, and then Tim comes around. He's like, "You shouldn't have said that one. You shouldn't have said that."
Now I got to deal with it. But once again, Tina, we want to thank you
Yeah,
and Tim
absolutely,
for
absolutely.
sitting
Thank you.
down with us, and we had a great time.
We've been looking forward to this for a minute.
Yes,
Awesome.
Yes.
We've been excited.
When we were at the gala, I contemplated over and over again, should I approach her about this, And when I did, I'm glad I did, because you and Tim, we had a great conversation. Right away, I felt like, we're family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the vibe. And I told the guys, listen, man, we were going to sit down with Frescos, we're going to sit down with Tina and Tim, and you're going to love their vibe.
I think the funnier part with it all is, as everybody sat down, is to listen to how many years y'all have been coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
forever.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's like,
yeah.
oh wow.
Yeah.
It's
She's
like,
seen our faces and doesn't even know that she's seen our faces.
it's like, oh my God, there's like years and years
Yeah,
worth
years.
of
Yeah.
customers. Sitting
Right.
right
When
here
he
across.
said that, he was like, "Hey, what do you guys think about Fresco?" As soon as I said, "Oh, we're doing it," and he was like,
Wow.
So when do you think? Immediately,
Yeah.
as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I said
And
because
then
I'd
when I
love to
pitched
go
that-
there.
When I think about it, man, this is where I introduced my fiance to my mom.
Ooh,
See?
see?
See the progressional
Yeah,
steps
like
of Fresco.
right over there.
Yeah, man.
Love it.
I love that.
love it.
I love it. And that's why, when I pitched the idea to them and I said, well, guys, it's going to be at pretty early in the morning. And they were like,
Yeah, we're there. Yeah,
we're there.
Yeah, we're there. We'll be there.
Because it's not like, we do it. We do it.
We don't
man.
do it a lot,
We don't do it a lot.
but
And-
we do it for you.
Well, so wrapping this up, did we miss anything? Anything you want to, shout out, or anything you want
think
to
so.
Want to
mention?
give out
Not at
so
all.
where are you located?
We're located on the corner of Lemon and Kentucky in downtown Lakeland,
Yeah,
right
Hours
across
of
the
operation?
street from Mid-Florida for a perfect landmark.
Yes.
And hours of operation, we're here Monday through Friday, Sunday and Monday we're here from 8 to 2. And then the rest of the week we're here from 8 until 10.
PM. See,
Breakfast, lunch, and
you know what's
dinner.
crazy? That's what Keisha was like. I don't think they serve dinner, and I'm like, I don't know, because we always
Listen.
come over here Sunday and
Brunch time.
We
Yeah.
have oxtail.
Get out of here. Wait a minute.
Braised oxtails with
Oh, my
gnocchi.
goodness.
And ironically, we did yesterday a celebration of life for a very good friend here, and did a whole Hades genre of food.
Man.
And I again have to pat myself on the back because he texted
Yeah.
me. He says, "You knocked it out of the park." They asked what Hades restaurant did this food. I says, "Did you tell him it was just some old white woman you
Wait,
knew?"
hold on, wait. So y'all
They made Haitian food.
So y'all made the pickles and
The whole
Shit.
The whole 9 yards.
Yes. But
And
the
they-
funny thing is, pickles to me from Georgia was just hot slaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's hot slaw.
yeah, that's really what it is.
See? Yeah.
We had those oxtails. We had curry shrimp. We had jerk chicken.
Look, they're like, who made it? Lady at Fresco's.
The white lady.
It's a white lady. No, you're doing sick.
Did you? Hold on, I got
Knocked
see,
it out.
now.
Look,
We're talking about
look,
this. I
look.
got. Did you make the sauce bar?
What is that?
What's that?
It's pureed black beans.
No, I
Pureed
did not.
black beans.
But
It's fire.
I made Trinidad green sauce.
Okay.
And we were just talking about it, how
Yeah.
it like
It creeps
teases
up.
you, it gets you, and then it smacks you in the back of the head.
See, now you said the black bean puree. Now she's gonna be like,
Tell me more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to
That
experience.
sounds good. But the wife fried the pork for the
Okay.
pickles. But it was funny. I saw it. It just had this thin layer of
Oh,
pickles
she made
on
the
it. I was like,
grill.
the grill, yes. I was like, that's not enough pickles. I've been told that's got to have a lot of pickles on there. That's what makes that fried pork.
Well,
Bruh.
once again, Miss Tina, we appreciate you taking the time out. We know you're a busy lady.
Thank you.
I want to apologize for all the texting and calling, and the guys can tell you I get a little crazy when things are coming up, something special like this. I get a little crazy, but
His anxiety kicks in.
yeah, I'm bald for a reason.
Listen, don't lose your beard. Calm
Yeah,
down.
that's all I have in life.
Looking like Victor Villanueva.
He's like, Vontae, give me some glue.
Once again, this is This, That, and
The Other
You-
podcast.
You can catch us live usually every Thursday at 8:30 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. I am again Olu,
I am saying so wavy.
Hey, yo, it's TTNO Swan.
and shout out to Devontae over there in the IT department.
Shout out to the wives because they know that we're here and we're going to eat.
Yes. So look for the charge.
I'm sorry.
I gotta take a plate back.
Yeah, I have to.
Thank you again, Miss Tina. Thank you for everybody that tuned in to the
Yes.
live.
Yeah, we
we'll catch
appreciate
you
it.
guys on Thursdays.
Looking forward to further stuff, man.
Yes.
Awesome. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're gonna eat. Oh my God.
Hit the button on
It's
the
so
board
funny.
too,
I
Devontae.
feel like we're talking.